got a lot of work to do. Ooh, that's shiny. Curiosity's often evoked solely a cost of focus. So crops we oughta sow get engrossed by the throngs of locusts. Like I know I'm supposed to bolster ozones and atone for old sins, but I'm pretty busy checking out this freckle I noticed. This existence is a mystery, adrift amidst it listlessly. Ambition bickers with interest, they disagree to disagree. Suffered through a history of subterfuge since infancy that made the wake-up calls conduct abrupt into a symphony. Epiphanies like pistol pop, toss them in the wishing pot. Pray that some shit comes from it other than getting swiftly lost. Just a lot of wishy-wash betwixt and out addiction. Watch a script and wash the dishes. Ask for business, shit I forgot. Okay, I hold my weight, go straight through an open page and pull my swollen brain out of its hole to skulk alone today. See what sort of bullshit I cultivate and I'm close. But wait, the moment greatness culminates, I'm pulled away on rollerblades. Oh, it's okay, I got time plenty to waste. Admittedly, I didn't really feel like working anyways. Demonstrated tendency to fend away and then to play. Did it all my life, do it again today. Push it off, maybe later. Push it off. Time is finished, swear to God I get around to it in just another minute. Push it off. Watching YouTube. Push it off. Dodging boredom, I got everything in view to do before what is important. Hold it off. Entertainment. Hold it off. Masturbation, dedicating my existence to instant gratification. Hold it off. Till tomorrow, as much as I love improvement, it takes a lot of work and I don't really want to do it. The student new to this rule book's truly fluent in truancy. Coolly flew the coop upon congruent opportunities, and you could see the lunacy blooming if you've the acuity. Loosening his screws, been elusive, precluding puberty and fruitless superfluity. Grew to be the future me, mooching his crew and using Buddha fumer's perfume indeed. And while he waited stupidly, compatriots 8th grades. Meantime, I'm viewing graduation from space. Great, flash forward, egads, the lad's hopeless. Single simple task and a million tabs open. Not a thing corresponding to his initial objective. But 3 a.m.'s the best time, the wiki of physics lesson. Oh yes, any attempt to claim responsible is made in jest. And whether he stays evading obstacles is not a question. Promises are troubled water under the bridge. Yell for help and it tell you that life's a bitch. I'm busy, and so the notion goes, still approaching the moment's deadline. I watch my productivity metamorph into bedtime. A bit of advice to the wise or whoever. Why do today what you could just delay to fucking never? Push it off. Maybe later. Push it off. Life is finished. Swear to God I get around to it in just a couple minutes. Push it off. Another episode. One more chapter. I stayed up way too late. Hibernated straight through the rapture. Won't contain it. Procrastination in a controlling relationship enslaved to my PlayStation. Hold it off. Really sorry. As much as I'd love to stay, I got a lot to do tomorrow I was supposed to do today. I don't wanna do that. I done gotta do this. If I ain't need to do the job, then I ain't even doing shit. I don't wanna do that, cause I done gotta do this. If I ain't need to do the job, then I ain't even doing shit. I don't wanna do that, like I done gotta do this. If I ain't need to do the job, then I ain't even doing shit. I don't wanna do that, said I done gotta do this. If I ain't need to do the job, I ain't even doing.
He named himself, like, that you said the X is pronounced differently?
Yeah, he said the X doesn't, it just isn't an X. It's pronounced, it's some fucking weird shit. I don't know. It was on Joe Rogan, so you know.
Well, no, listen. Go ahead, finish what you're gonna say.
He was just saying that X is pronounced something in some kind of language or some shit like that.
But imagine, okay, so like, you know how most people, right? Because imagine that. Like, hell, there's people that look, Coach, you told me about your story, about your name. People would pronounce it wrong.
Right.
And then you would get frustrated with it. So imagine having a name where it's like a fucking letter, and then it's got like another letter and numbers in it. And then like and then someone tells you that, oh, the X is pronounced this way. And then like whenever the substitute teacher comes in, they're like, is X A1-12 here? And then he goes, no, ma'am, my name is pronounced 6ix9ine, you know, or something like that.
It's a fucking barcode.
Yeah, you got a fucking barcode for a name.
It's a fucking barcode. Elon has got so much fucking shit in his brain that I guarantee you that he went on a whiteboard and did, like, the whiteboard's filled with all kinds of calculations to come up with that name, bro. Elon, I mean, I swear to God, that's how his brain just works way different than we are. So, and plus, they'll have some nickname for her or him. I think it's a her. And he's so fucking rich, that kid don't have to worry about nobody pronouncing it.
That is true, I guess. Yeah, well, Elon probably is against the educational system, so I guess his kid will never go. But let's be real. When he gets a girlfriend someday, who knows, maybe by then he'll be dating android babes that his dad cloned or something.
It might be a fucking android, bro. This might be the first android android baby and shit.
Right, but that's it. That's what I'm convinced of. Maybe his wife isn't even like a person, and she's like a robot, and then she birthed this android human hybrid, and that's what this is.
All them and Zuckerberg, all them motherfuckers look like not humans and shit. Like they're just like robots and shit.
The
Like
lizard people.
have some fun, guys. You don't have to. You don't have to fucking nerd it out 24/7, bro. Just have some fun. But some people like that. I know a couple people that are like that on way, way, way smaller scale. But they're just in this. They just think totally different than everything's like numbers and math and shit to them. Like they can figure things out, and that's always going on in their head, like different ways to approach things and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if I could ever honestly say that I'm going to name my. I don't know. You're right. I guess I could never. I couldn't put myself in those shoes. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I could never put myself in the shoes of saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to name my son this," you know, like a numbers and letters and whatever. And I don't know if it's a mindset thing, but that's how I
think,
feel about it.
yeah, we don't even understand something. We don't even understand. It might be have some kind of meaning to them, or something. It could be a message. But funny, true story though. People don't understand. Like people name their kids for whatever reason. Like I named my son Quran. Like this is a true story, bro. Around 9/11, after they opened the airports out, I took a flight to Florida. Every connecting flight in Detroit, there and back, they pulled me off. And they got off the plane. They pulled me to the side and extra searched me. Every connection point there and back. And I asked the last guy, I was like, why am I always getting searched? And I don't see anybody else getting searched. And there was going to be, the dude told me, he was like, there's a flag on your name. And I was like, for what? And they were like, because of the name Quran.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so
And they were like, yeah, they were thinking I named him after the Holy Quran, but I didn't. I just liked the name Quran.
so you're telling me they pulled you thinking like you were like the next terrorist, bro. They really thought you were gonna blow something up.
I
That's
look like a
crazy.
Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
He's the next bomber. He's like, you don't have no government flag on, like everybody's looking at, you're not under that microscope. He's just like, you came across with the points that we're supposed to check out right now. It's so high of a thing. So yeah, we're fucking profiling right now, bro. We're profiling.
You know, but that actually leads to a great conversation because we were talking about we talk about rights and stuff. Anyway, we'll be talking about rights and whatnot here for a second, and I'm kind of curious when we say stuff like that. Like, do for safety reasons, do people have the ability to take our rights away for safety reasons? Like, I mean, for instance, profiling, like they profiled you there because they were worried about people, more terrorist attacks and everything going on around this time. It's like, do you think they had that right at the time to search you and like kind of profile you and say, hold on, you might be a red flag, or no?
Personally, I mean, it didn't really bother me because I seen like that when that day that happened, I was like, holy fuck, anything can happen. That was the time that I realized that we are not as protective, no matter what theory you think happened. We are not that protected as we think we are. Shit can get by. So I kind of understood it. But in that kind of manner, yes. But if it's just like average Joe on the street walking down the street, your rights get violated. That's where I come into the play. And the tyranny bullshit that they pull, which we have. We do have a little video of that, right? Where the police are coming out.
Right. Well, we're gonna play that here in just a second, but yeah, because that ties into that conversation we're gonna have, with the whole coronavirus thing going on and everybody being locked up, and then now, pretty much the American people are pretty much fed up with it, and they're like, listen, we're reopening, we're going out, we're going to live our lives, we can't just hide forever from this virus, and so they're gonna come out, and the police are gonna be the people enforcing these laws,
Right.
And this is what we're about to show you guys is video from a cop who is speaking on this particular topic, and we're just gonna play like a short clip from it here, and then we'll talk about it here.
All the other kids
you
with
don't
the
get
pumped up
to
kicks.
just
Can they hear me?
say, well, I'm doing this because I was told to do so, or I'm following orders, or I need to keep this job. Guess what? I need to keep this job more than anybody. I have 3 young children. I have 2 houses. Like, I have the same sob story that the rest of you guys have. But my personal choices and my living
Facts, young
arrangements,
man, facts.
no matter what they are, don't allow me to trample on people's rights. And I don't understand why that concept is so hard for people to understand. Listen, you need to stand up for what's right. You need to, if you're part of a department or an agency that is asking people or asking their officers or their deputies to impose on people's rights and infringe on their freedoms, you need to step up and say, no, that's not me. That's not what I signed up for, and that's going against my oath. And if that costs you your job, so be it. At least you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror at night. I've already expressed this to my department. And luckily for me, I come from a department that I feel like my chain of command shares my view, but I don't care what department you're part of or what your chain of command thinks.
That
You
good?
don't get to trample on people's liberty. And so, as a special operations veteran,
Got
I've
the little
fought
bridge
on
in
the
the gap
streets of
shirt in the
Iraq
back.
under the U.S. government's guise of freedom.
I had to move from back there, man. I need a
And
little
I'm
change of
telling you
route.
what,
Can
the
they hear me?
American people are going to,
My fault.
you are going to wake a sleeping giant, and they are going to fight 10 times harder for their freedom on their soil than anything you've ever seen before.
The beauty of what he just said there is like he's a cop saying you don't get to say, you can't use the excuse it's just a job.
What do you mean?
Like, this is your job. You can't say as a cop, like, oh, as a justification for doing unconstitutional things, for upholding unconstitutional laws. He's like, you don't just get to say it's a job. He's like, I get it. He's like, I have 3 kids and I have 2 homes, but I have to take care of the people first. And you brought up a good point that he also brought up in that video that we didn't get to see, which is that it's dangerous for the cops. And I figured you might want to touch on that more.
Yeah, depending on where he's at. Like, I don't know where he's at. He could have been from a small force, small town where there's not that much politics into it. So that is a key thing to it too, knowing where it's coming from. But I don't see a New York officer that's still on post, a New York police officer doing that, no matter how good he is. Could be the, top notch, goes by the book on everything. He doesn't participate in that, but going across that line, you got to be ready to lose your job, one, or walk away from it at least. Walk away from that shit. Or if you're still on that job, you're there. The whole ball game switch. They're not going to have your back. You're going to have people watching your back, like how you need in a job like that,
Right.
because of those things. Because they feel the same way. Like you're telling on them, you're ratting, you're snitching on what they're doing, and I just respect the shit out of people that saying it, because I've seen like 5 of them since he came out with that. He was the first one that I've actually seen him come out and say something. And it's dangerous. So I respect the shit out of him. And I hope that it gets the good cops to stand up and say, hey, man, it's time for that bullshit. It's not going to happen around me. You know what I mean? And it's a difficult thing to do. Like I said, in like a Chicago, a Philly, those type of areas, New York, Florida, bigger California, especially California. California is like the crookedest fucking police thing.
Right.
So it's tough. It's a tough scenario, and I think he touched a lot of great points.
Well, you brought up snitching, so we should get to this now. So 6ix9ine is I believe he's on house arrest, correct? He's not actually like out, but he's like on house arrest.
Yeah. He's on house arrest.
Now, although I was kind of curious how he did the Goomba video, but I mean, on house arrest, are you allowed to leave for work-related things?
Oh yeah, bro. He's pretty much doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, right. So he's pretty much walking like a free man.
Yeah, the thing on his hip, I mean the ankle bracelet. Mm-hmm. To tell the truth, that motherfucker's just to keep tabs on him so they can figure out while they're maneuvering to keep his ass alive.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's probably what it is. So he gets out of jail, and it was all because, of course, he snitched, and he snitched on people that were in his gang, so to speak. And my question here is snitching ever justified? And I think me and you are gonna have a little disagreement here, so this will be interesting. So what do you think, based on the situation and all the information provided? How should we feel about Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Well, if he's like everybody had, there's two different ways to look at this shit. Like civilians, it's not snitching if you're a civilian. You're not claiming that shit and you're not living it, and you point out a guy that shot somebody, that's not snitching.
Mm-hmm.
That's not snitching. But if what he did was, even though he is a lame civilian dude that ain't into that shit, he's just vulturing off of it, culture vulturing off of it, and making that money. He was promoting that shit so much, you know what I mean, and talking that crazy shit, getting on live every day, and until he started fucking with some real people, and them real people went to the people that he thought he could protect, that could protect him,
Mm-hmm.
and it started all going haywire from there because they were telling him, "We don't give a fuck who you are, what you're doing. We will squash you, all you guys, like a bug if he continues to talk to us like that." So everything went haywire. So, and people think like, the things that he did to him, but that's the reason why I say he's a fucking rat, and it's not okay for him to do it because he was in that shit, participating in some of that shit, even though he wasn't built for it. And he comes out and says, justifies it. They're going to kidnap my mom, blah, 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 blah. Dude, you knew you were participating in some of that shit they were doing to other people. So you knew what you were getting into. You knew that shit. And the only reason why he knew, why he ain't, to be honest, ain't dead yet, is because the feds had phone taps. And when they hear somebody threaten to kill somebody, they have to come tell that person.
Mm-hmm.
They have. If they hear it, they have to come tell them. And they get to use that as leverage to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, bud, listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. What are you going to do?" So he's a rat.
Yeah, I mean, but even to protect your own personhood, like to be alive, I mean, he was gonna be threatened. They were threatening to kill him. They his baby mama. They were fucking his baby mom, and all the other shit with his actual mom. Does he not have the right for self-preservation, and also the jail time he was facing for people that weren't loyal to him? They weren't reciprocating that respect, if that makes any sense. Doesn't he have the right to preserve that?
Yeah, they stole, like, according to, and I believe them, that they got like 5 million out of him too by not bookings and not giving him the full money. I believe that. Yeah, no, I don't believe, no, you knew what the fuck you were getting into. I'm cut from that cloth. Today's cloth, they don't give a fuck. It's all about whatever, blah, 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 until it gets real. When that shit gets real, then it's not fun and jokes no more. So you know what I mean? He was told by some real fucking people that he needs to chill and go play off. Stop being Tekashi, be fucking Daniel Hernandez, because you ain't built for this shit. And they will, if you there's no okay if you invite it to your fucking family. You should have thought about that when you were doing it. Like, right. This could end that. You know what I mean? And these guys, the reason why they started doing these things to him, because they knew he wasn't built for this, and they had conversations with them themselves, saying, "Hey, man, you can't talk to that person like that. We're not built like that to go up against those people. Those people have way too much money."
This is something interesting that I had someone tell me yesterday. Because the one thing that I don't know if I really respect about Tekashi 6ix9ine, but the hustle and drive he had to get all of the numbers and followers and things that he has, but it was clout chasing, and people told me yesterday, no, it's not clout chasing. Tekashi 6ix9ine is clout. And I said to someone, well, what the fuck does that mean? That sounds like to me.
In his song, bro.
What's that?
They got it out of his song. They took it out of Gooba. He says that in Gooba.
Right, but I'm saying they said he is clout, and I'm saying what the fuck does that even mean to be clout? Everybody chases clout, right? But what does it even mean to be clout? That basically is like saying like you're just that thing that's always constantly changing to be, that everyone wants to obtain, I guess. And
That's what the fuck it is. That's the bullshit right there. You know, is what it is. That he's saying, I'm the person that you guys been. You couldn't even do it when I was gone, when I wasn't allowed to hop on here. I hop on here one time and crash all the numbers. You know what I mean? That's today's society. I don't fuck with that shit. That shit's. I won't do something for no likes or anything.
Yeah, right, bro. But I think it's a gimmick. I think it's gimmicks. Like, because everybody was like, this guy's song is so dope. And then I was like, this song is trash.
The beat was hard. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I give respect to whoever made that beat.
The beats, yeah, I always give props because I think producers are what make the rap game anymore right now. Like, I mean, there's good rappers out there. I'm not gonna say there aren't, and they're just harder to find because you have like the people in the main lane, and their producers are just like killing it, and the rappers so much, like hit or miss here and there. But yeah, full props to the producer. But I'm saying the song itself, like lyrically, because I was expecting like T Grizz. That's what I was hoping for when he got out. Was like a T Grizz fucking like I was hoping like he would drop like something cool and I'd be like it'd be like bars. But yeah, what was I expecting? 6ix9ine doesn't have bars.
He's fucking what he is. That's the only route he could go, and he signed a piece of paper already that inked the deal, and they gave him some upfront money. He's gonna do what the fuck he's told to do right now. He has no choice. He's out there doing whatever. He's got the power of the government behind him too. It's some fuck shit right out in the open. Like it's nothing. I would spit on that dude if I fucking seen him, bro, and end up getting arrested and beat up by all the fucking, if
right.
I would never want to be in the same place as he was. I would never go look for him or spend any money on anything he does. I don't respect it. I don't give a fuck. If you saying you were an actor, you should have put that on every motherfucking post. This is just for play. This ain't real. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. I'm just cut from that cloth, man. You can't. If you're a civilian, yes, you can say whatever the fuck you want. You can save your life, save your family, and all that. But if you brought it on yourself, what can you say, bro?
You played with fire. I guess you got burnt. You were the person who decided that you were gonna take this route and mess with these people, and then say you really were a part of it by basically just being the guy who makes their theme music.
Yeah, and he was backing all their activities with his money, with the money he was earning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He was giving them opportunities. That whole organization is
street dastardly shit.
It's some street shit. They were doing real street shit. You know what I mean? So, that's what they had him. They had him dead to right on RICO. RICO acts. They had all of them on RICO acts. So, but to in perspective, they all really didn't get that much time. They got 13. I think the most person got was 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really, he kind of, in my eyes, I don't know what happened with everybody else, how they got the number so low, but I don't know. He ratted and he's out, in 8 months?
Yeah, literally, he's out. He does, and a lot of people told me he probably lived like a king too when he was in there. He probably lived lavishly.
No, he probably lived no, they weren't going to let him do that. Those are the things, like I told you in Goodfellas when they said that. That doesn't happen. You get some kind of special privileges and shit like that, but you're not just living. His gate locked when everybody else gate locked. He probably had some.
Yeah, they didn't have a private room where they could come and go and do all that shit.
No, trust me. He was getting treated because powerful people were like, "Hey, man, he's with us, so keep him." He was probably hanging around the pedophiles.
That's a thing that's of controversy, because I remember that there was a controversy with 6ix9ine about some pedophilia type shit.
Yeah, he was probably definitely
filming PC. Girls or something like that, underage girls, giving people blowjobs and shit.
Yeah, he wiggled his way out of that case somehow and shit, which I'm sure involved some money. But yeah, he was in PC just fucking chilling, waiting for it to get out. That's it. He wasn't doing much. He was probably the guards joking and laughing with them. He's telling them stories and shit like that. Bullshit. Yeah. So he wasn't doing no hard time. Now, this is what I hope though. No beef and no, I don't want to see nobody get killed or not. But Bobby Schmurder's out. He's in a halfway house right now.
Oh,
And
really?
he's the original. Yes, he's the original. Like his vibe is the original. What Takashi the troll in it.
I
Not he
knew
doesn't.
it.
He just makes that type of music and he talks shit. You know, he's got that energy. I want to see what's gonna happen with that. Like what's Bobby? Because Bobby did the real shit.
Yeah.
Like him and his boys were doing the shit. They know they were doing it. His man was gonna get more time than Bobby, and Bobby took more time so his man could get less time. That's real shit.
That's
'Cause you
Bobby.
knew what the
Well,
yeah.
but I think we all respected Bobby because of that, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
like,
respect the shit out of Bobby, and I hope he comes out and gets on track and doesn't leaves that shit alone and goes to making music.
yeah. Because let's be real. Because I remember about a week ago more so than I remember all them other tracks by Tekashi 6ix9ine. And that was
Yeah,
one thing I was gonna say too. Was like this is what's sad about people that really like Tekashi 6ix9ine's music. Was someone commented to me when I was telling them that the track was trash. They're like, dude, it probably took him 3 minutes to make that song. It took him longer to make the music video, and you know what I mean. He just made like millions of dollars or whatever the hell. And he's like, and you're mad at it. I'm like, well, yeah, because like there's people out here that like sit down, blood, sweat, and tears, write a really good song, and get no love. You know, and then this dude just like comes on with like rainbow colored hair and girls and the fat asses clapping their cheeks together with a song where like I forget one of the lines in it was something about the coronavirus. Like that's how you know it was a throwaway because it's like not timeless, you know.
so what do you think though? You asked the question, I answered. So what do you think? Do you think that it was okay for him to do it?
To be honest with you, I kind of wanted to play devil's advocate, but no. I mean, how could you? How the guy went and he played with fire and he got burnt and then he threw everything. He threw everybody else kind of under the bus for that. Now, granted, I understand the people maybe weren't doing right by him. Some of those people weren't doing right by him, and he had felt the necessary to do that. And I respect somebody to have that loyalty to themselves. Like I don't have to. Why would I be? Why would I waste my life, like years of my life in prison, for people that you know they don't give a shit about me? But at the same time, on the flip side of that coin, you knew that you were doing some dastardly shit. You're probably responsible for some dastardly shit, and you're gonna try and throw everybody else on the bus so you can get out and save yourself. Like
I respect that shit.
I can't, and also too because and the worst part is so like you a good example like you said Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda talked the talk and walked the walk. When Bobby Shmurda was really doing that stuff, and then he went to and then you like you said he took more time to take less time for his homies.
Because he knew he was doing the shit. He
Right.
was in it.
And
Knew what the fuck it was about.
Tekashi was just making the fuck. He was basically paying.
Pawn.
He was the pawn, right? Exactly. And he was just supplying. He was just giving them money, and then he was making their theme music basically. And then whenever the wheels fell off, he was like, "Oh no, I'm done playing gangster now." And now he comes back out and he's still playing gangster. So
Yeah, but and the thing about it is though, like I don't like giving it attention, you know, to Daniel Hernandez fucking CI number and shit 6666666 because he's just a fucking devil weirdo, bro. He's a person. He would sell his mama out in that fucking.
you think?
So I don't want to hear none of that. He'd sell his baby mom out. He'd sell his kid out. He'd sell anybody out because that's what he wants in his life right now. All of this right here. He'll sell anybody out to keep it. So, but in saying that, like, fuck him. Like that to me is not hip hop. That's not a representation of hip hop. And also because like the people that really don't understand that life of what was really going on are the ones that pay white middle America teenage kids are the ones that are keeping him afloat, making him a millionaire.
Oh,
it's
right.
not the hood ain't buying that shit. The hood is like, yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool at that point. But
I did see. It is kind of crazy because it's the truth. You really are true about that. Because when I saw the post where like I was arguing about the shit, I didn't see too many. I didn't see no black people coming in to say positive things about Tekashi 6ix9ine. It was all white people being like, Tekashi made all this money and you're hating, and you know, like you're hating on a guy because he. You know, and I think it is. I think a lot of people worship that mentality of like doing less work and you know just being able to get rich quick. You know, and like we respect it. Like when we talk about Danielle, the Cash Me Outside girl, we kind of respect Danielle Berlogi's hustle. She like took a meme moment and made herself into something. You know?
I would respect it if he did. If he if he said, "This is me. I'm just fucking around." I would respect it. I would respect that, bro. But he was saying some disrespectful shit to some real people. And that's why it went haywire. That's why it went left. Because they knew that he wasn't going to be around longer. So they were trying to get everything they can out of him. Fuck him. The writing was on the wall. Mm-hmm. That was going to be, what was happening there was the less of his words. There was some real motherfuckers that said, we had enough. He crossed the line. And you guys can't stop this from happening. So you got to know that when you're playing this little clout game, who you're fucking with, because there's some people out here that don't play. They just don't play.
Right. Now, speaking of people that don't play, Coach.
Yes.
Earl Thomas's wife.
Earl Thomas's wife, yo, that shit was fucking hilarious.
Well, I don't know the full story, and I'm sure you do. So I kind of want you to explain it. But I mean, what? So, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Yeah, so these dumb motherfuckers, like him and his brother out, smashing some chicks, you know what I mean? I don't know personally if I could do it with my brother. I probably would. It depends on if we just had some chicks and we were banging them out. I mean, I've done it with friends back in the day, in my 20s, teenagers, train. Woo, come on, ride the train. The train shit. But at this part of my life, I'm not really rocking with it. It'd have to be something like we had the biggest bag ever for me to do that. So it was kind of weird when I heard brother and they were having an orgy or whatever. So I guess the wife, I don't know how Snapchat works, but she was able to get on his Snapchat and he's snapping it of him with him and the chicks and shit, and she knows it's him, but I don't think they were showing faces or anything. They were just showing that, but she knew it was him. So she got up the girls and said, let's go. I know where they're at. And they went over there. The chick got the girls and they had knives. So they held them with knives. And the wife pulls out the gun and like chasing Earl around like, yeah, motherfucker, it's about to go down. So, but the whole thing that was funny, like that's just fucking crazy. Like you can't take that L, man. That shouldn't be all over the news about you and you're a prestigious NFL player. You got to be smarter than that, yo. But the funny shit was, though, he tried to pull one of these in a tweet and say, hey, the story about me and my brother and my wife, please respect our privacy. And then Mark Ingram puts underneath it, he was like, you and your brother got caught knocking off the same chick, and your wife pulls a pistol on you. Nah, we got questions, bro. Fucking hilarious.
And it's the truth. It is the truth. Like, I mean, no, you're not safe when you're walking around with crazy shit like that happening in your life. We got questions. We want to know.
We want to know.
We want to know. And the truth is, even if this is just the details right now that we have, like what the story, this is all we have, fine, because it's perfect. It's hilarious. It's right. Sad, really, because there's Earl. Bro, if you're cheating, man, let's talk about this for just a minute, bro. If you're cheating on your wife, dog, why you gotta post it on Snapchat?
And you're too fucking old. Snapchat.
What's that?
He's too fucking old to be on Snapchat.
Right? Was it him on Snapchat recording him dogging out the chicks, or was it like his buddy?
It was somebody. The wife knew that was his fucking Snapchat or whoever's Snapchat it came. So it was that close to him. Like who plays it? He's like 32 years old. You don't play with Snapchat. Yeah. Buddy. You know what I mean?
Come on, Earl. Let's be real, Earl. Like, why are you out here getting like who is the damage control around you? Someone's like, oh yeah, because let's be real, Coach. Me and you, if this ever happened, me and you, bro, we're not getting the phone out and recording it. You know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna say, hey, let's record this and put it out for later and putting it on social media. You know what I mean? Why are they sharing it? Who is sharing this on their story? Like, they're like, oh yeah, like, are they getting paid? Maybe they got a Snapchat Premium. Maybe that's what it was, bro. They had like the Snapchat Premium. Or maybe like one of the chicks was like having sex and she decided she was going to film it and she was going to be like, look who I'm banging, and then showed Earl Thomas's face.
It had to but it had to get back to the wife quick because she was on it right away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
As it was happening. It almost sounds like maybe there was a staging. Maybe like she like put a plant, like she knew about it and she's like, hold on, let me catch this in the act, you know? Nah, that can't be right though, because she got a gun, and to do something that quick, it must have been like she just found out and she just reacted.
Found out because she would have, if she knew about it, she would have just let him come home. She found out at that point and made a rational decision to pull out the blicky. So, I don't know what's gonna happen to her. Like, you know, she's now saying, Earl, you got to do something because our children and all this. And he's kind of, you don't hear nothing from him because it's embarrassing to him than anything.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny. All the dudes in the locker room, my man was like, Earl Thomas he might be done in the NFL. I was like, for what? He didn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
Chased him with a pistol. It's not illegal for him to bang on Snapchat.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's against Snapchat's policy, but they can ban your account. That's about all they can do, you know? Like, that's
about it.
But let's be real. Let's be real. That's not really against their policy, because Snapchat pretty much knows that you're going to send pictures of yourself naked to people, and that's just, there's nothing you can do about it. Like,
all that. I've seen all kinds of crazy shit on Snapchats, bro.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I've seen it all. I don't know if it's got taken down later, but I've seen everything.
And Snapchat knows what goes down on the Snapchat Premium. Let's be real about that, too. They know what goes down on Snapchat Premium, so...
Yeah.
They know.
It's meant to do what Snapchat does. They're cool with it. They're not going to take down too much. But yeah, and them saying that, well, he at least might have a bad year. Dude, he doesn't give a fuck. The people in the locker room are going to fuck with him. They're going to throw jabs at him every chance. All year he's going to hear it. Right. All fucking year he's going to hear it every time. You know, after camp, it'll be done in camp with his team. But after that, everywhere he goes, motherfuckers are going to be saying it on the field, laughing. And it's not, they're saying it in more of a jab
kind of way, yeah.
They're laughing at you and shit, having fun.
Yeah, but that's crazy. She's like, oh, you need to get the kids. You need to take care of the kids. I don't know. I expect Earl to be like, I don't know, man. If you're in Earl Thomas's shoes, what do? You gotta played yourself.
You got to do whatever you can for the mother of your children. That doesn't mean you have to be with her. Right. It's not okay. You pull the gun out on him, but you still got to stand. You got to help her.
Yeah, well,
I expect nothing different from him.
Yeah, well, like I said, you got to. Yeah, you definitely have to help her out. That's for sure. You have to. But I was saying, like, in terms of, I guess you can't go back to her. Could you? Could you?
This type of shit happens in the hood, bro.
Are you saying if you're are you saying if your baby mom came at you with a gun one time, because like then you would have to be like, okay, I'm staying by you now, you know, like kind of thing, like, oh, I screwed up, my bad, if you'll have me, you know, like how does she take him back if that's the case?
It could be anything though. There could have been, I mean, there's anything, like that's not really, like if she put a slug in him, I can understand it, you know what I mean? But
yeah, that'd be kind of true.
I think she was just acting irrational like we do, and somehow it got caught in the right people, because I guarantee you nothing like that's not the first time that happened.
Oh, like, no.
There's probably something that somebody could have got arrested for if that's where she went as soon as she seen that, is grab the gun and go find it.
NFL players, like I feel like professional sports players, I'm assuming this is like literally like a daily thing.
Like, I won't say that.
No, I'm not saying players are doing it every day, but I'm saying like every day there's a player in one of the leagues somewhere who's doing this thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of, when you got money involved, like that's why I always try to say, money projects problems times 1,000. Everyday problems that we have that we go with our person, if there's money, like you're rich and all that, it projects it, because one, when you have money, you can get away with a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff you don't get arrested, you don't get reported. They just, until it gets out of hand, something bad happens out of hand. But it also, with all that money involved and used to things and the way things go, people do dumb shit times 1,000. Times 1,000. So, if you're into that type of shit happens. You know what I mean?
By the way, that actually makes me curious. So Robert Kraft, right?
Uh-huh.
Didn't he get caught? I'm not mistaken. Robert Kraft got caught getting handies from, was it underage girls?
Yeah, I don't think it ever said underage girls.
Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I didn't know if they were underage or not. But he was.
No, they were saying it, but official reports never said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it never said it was underage girls.
Right. So I'm kind of curious, like, like, because that was like a big thing, and like I don't think Robert even got as much as a slap on the wrist that from what I heard, unless we stopped following the story.
He got shook down and went away during the football season, like week
Yeah.
12 or something. Something came out, said all charges against there's no further action, blah 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 blah. He got slapped with some kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They shook him down. Robert opened up that book and said, "What is this going to cost me?"
Yeah, he's like, ah, shit. He just whipped out the checkbook, like, ah, you mother. It's like, all right, I'll
Yeah.
give you this one. All right. And he's like, here it is. That's whatever it is. Go away.
You know how that shit works, bro. You can't. There's no way they're gonna fucking prosecute that man or his friends. If you got that much money and you have powerful friends, they're not gonna allow that to happen. They probably one person picked up, Robert, you asshole, you got caught. What are you doing? Can't be doing that shit out there.
Wow.
Then he picked up the phone and stopped it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What was his name? Epstein. See, look, I'm already forgotten Jeffrey Epstein. I think the difference with that one was like, like Robert was still in the circle probably around that time, and they probably they were like, okay, Robert, we'll help you out on this one. But like Jeffrey was like, I'm snitching, and they were like, hold on, Jeffrey, and hold on, Jeffrey, we're gonna clean you up real quick.
Yeah, you gotta go to jail now, Jeff. Robert Kraft's gotta stay out there.
Yeah, we gotta keep Robert Kraft. We gotta keep Robert Handy Kraft under wraps here.
We gotta keep handicraft and shit. Oh, speaking of handies and blowing loads, but listen, they're saying the virus is in our fucking nut, yo. Did you hear? Did you see that?
What?
They're saying it's
in our sperm?
Yes.
The virus is in sperm.
They're saying we can give it to our chick by nutting in her. It's crazy.
Nah, bro. Now I'm convinced it's made up. It has to be fictional now, bro. They're just trying to add shit. Like CNN's like, all right, what can we say to scare people more? Like they have a dartboard and they're like, perfect. Say it's in their nut now. Tell them that it's in their balls. Like I fucking. Oh my goodness. Like how. But I mean, like it would make sense, kind of. I mean, what it spreads through like mouth to mouth air, breathing, like it gets inside of you, kind of So I guess that would make sense.
I think that what they did, some guy was bored one day at the hospital and was like, I got a semen sample from this guy. Hey, let's test it for COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID-19. Like they were just bored one day. Like let's just test it and see if it's got space AIDS in it. They were like someone was really. Nah, like, or like better yet, like guy went home with COVID, knew he had COVID, and he's like, hey, honey, and he's like, no, we can have sex, we just can't kiss. And like no, it was someone trying to actually make one of those Pornhub videos on Pornhub of like them doing the quarantine suits and shit, and that's what happened. They tested it out, and then afterward they're like, oh no, like when I gave her the cream pie.
Yeah, you can't give no more facials because they say it's more. That's where you get it from the nose and the mouth. Where you can't give no facials now. It's in the semen. She's got to wear a mask.
Oh my God, no!
She's got to wear a mask, bro.
Oh my goodness! It's in the nut.
This is what's great about this thing, though. I love entrepreneurs, man. This chick found a solution instead of the fucking, like, she sells clothes and she does great work in artsy things. It's kind of expensive, but people buy it. She sets parties up. None of that was happening. So what'd she do? She started making dope-ass masks for everybody. And she just kept fucking, like, keeping the doors open, handling business. Like, and I respect the shit out of that, yo. I respect the shit out of hustlers, man. As long as you know what I mean? You understand? Just don't do dumb shit. You know what I mean? Hate on motherfuckers. Get out that bag. So that brings me to one thing. When we're talking about the COVID-19, we're about to hit the yellow phase where shit's about to start opening up, man. So that was a question I had. I thought about that. Somebody actually asked me, and he said, hey, man, what'd you learn so much? I mean, what was important that you learned sitting by, in this, outside of you, if you're quarantined with your family, outside of those, building those relationships and realizing that, and outside of you looking in the mirror, what was the most important thing that you got out of that? And I said, I thought about it for a while, and my answer is fucking that how important our local government is. to be to participate in local government elections, because everything that's fucking said it federally, you know how Trump kept saying, "Well, I'm leaving it up to the governors, and all that state down from the governor down are making the decisions on whether we get out, how much money we're gonna get." I mean, Tom Wolfe just threatened us today, but business owners was saying, if you don't follow the rules, I'm not giving no relief money to that county. That's what he said.
To that county, he straight up said, if the businesses don't obey, no one in the county gets any help.
Now, I don't know if he was specifically saying just for the business part of it, not saying just the people, but it's still putting the enemy, it's making you the enemy. If those people, which are the people that are trying to abide by it so they could get open, everybody that's not, now they're fighting. And they're no longer fighting with Wolfe.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like, what the heck, man? Like, oh, man. I mean,
he spun him.
Oh, man. I don't know what you do about that. Like, I don't know. Because if you're
tough. It is tough.
If you're Tom, because if you're a business who's just trying to stick through this thing and stick it out, and then you want the relief money, because the quintessential fact is, holy hell, I wish I could stop yawning. The quintessential fact is that if you do reopen, you're basically saying, hey, I'm going to make money. And they're like, well, why do you need the aid then? They're going to try and justify it in that manner. But then there's people who are like, well, I want to get the aid. And how am I going to get the aid? If you guys are detracting from the rules, that Tom has set up. And like you said, they're going to start a de facto war between them, us and them. And, it's going to be a big shitstorm. For business owners, I think it'll destroy a lot of local business. More so than what this whole closing has done. For the sheer fact that you'll have businesses that won't associate with each other anymore, and there won't be mutual relationships because of them waiting through the COVID-19. But I think I want to be, if I'm being honest with you, as a business owner, I want to be on the side of the businesses that reopen. That without Tom's consent. I'm on that side, if I'm being honest. If I'm picking a side.
I'm always down for a good revolution, man. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the funding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got the call from who I'm invested in. They said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, bro, it's your shit. You run it day to day. You're the one that's in the safety zone. You got to do the safety part. And he said, because I missed out on a couple payments. And I didn't hold that against anything. Because I know there's nothing you can do about it. But I'm also not going to tell him, go rush back into it and put yourself out there and our couple staff. Don't do that. So I'm going to leave that shit up to you. What you want to do. I'm not going to force you to do. I'll wait. I'll take the L's. And fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. I have that opinion that everybody should be. I think maybe Wolfe should not say, but that's how politics work. You know what I mean? Everybody's gunning Wolfe. They want him out of there because the shit's he doing. Now he's just turning it on them. He should just say to those businesses, I would be I'm with the religion. Fuck your help. I probably won't see it until.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't see it anyway. I mean, me and you talked about it, how certain businesses are getting like all this money, and then other businesses that are around them are getting not a dime.
Right.
And like, it's like you gave a one business such a large sum of money that if you would have dispersed it to 10 other businesses, it would have helped them all tremendously. But no, you're like, oh no, this business right here, this one, give them this amount. It's like, why even bother? And there's so many businesses that have had during this time that have applied, who have tried, and they can't get any relief. And they haven't. There's people who still haven't got their damn stimulus checks that they literally, it was 2 months ago that they put out these stimulus checks.
I didn't get mine.
Yeah, there you go. That point blank period. And
I'm worried about that shit.
But I was saying I'm on that side because regardless, eventually you're going to have to start doing business again. What, are you going to wait for the government to write you a check every damn week? Businesses that want to wait until Tom Wolfe shit's done, like until this whole thing's blown over? No, I mean, if you're a business and you want to reopen, go for it, and I say you do it. You take the proper precautions. I think you still open your business. You run social distancing things. If you have people come into your store, you make them wear a mask. You take those precautions. But outside of that, I think you should be able to reopen, because why? Walmart, we've had, how many Walmarts we got in Blair County? And as of right now, I think we're at 30 confirmed COVID-19 cases in this county, and 0 deaths in this county.
Right.
And how many people been going to Walmart? How many people been going to Home Depot and Lowe's and all the grocery stores, and we only have 30 fucking cases, and you're telling me the small businesses aren't allowed to open the back up? Give me a break. Give me a break. As long as they practice the same guidelines those big businesses are practicing.
It's like delivering your food. Exactly. Yeah. Like curb service. Mm-hmm. You call me and you say, hey, man, I need this business done. If it's sitting down and talking, you can do that over the thing. Your business shouldn't stop. But if it's like a walk-in business and you just come in and you say, hey, man, you figure that out. You say, hey, John, put your mask on, or you got to have masks on. Because a store like fucking Fee-Fi's,
mm-hmm.
you know, that's not essential.
Right.
Is it essential? You know, it's not essential for them to be open. You know what I mean? There's nothing in there that is really making it essential that you can't get from a specific area. You might have to travel a little farther to get there if that was the case. But if I want to fucking, like a barbershop, I kind of get it. I would just say you have to go to their house.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Sit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, or like something, whatever they come up with a guideline. I wouldn't say, you just got to come up with different guidelines. They're just picking and choosing. To me, it seems like they want to crush the little man.
Yeah.
They want to shake it up.
Exactly. I mean, and that really is what it is. Because when you, for one, based on the actions that, like, from the threat that he made, mm-hmm. he wants the other small businesses to basically be in competition with other small businesses, and he's going to reward the businesses that sit around and basically suckle off the government's teat. He's going to reward the businesses that sit around and don't do anything and just hang out, right, for this. And then the businesses that, you know, they need to be in business for them to stay alive. They can't wait for you to reopen the state and say, okay, everything's good. You know, they have to do business now, or else their business is going to drown.
Right. And it's I think it's so easy for people to say what's best for other people that are not living. I mean, they're not living that life.
Yeah.
They don't understand that life, or they're so far removed from it. I'm not going to say everybody that's in power positions and has money now hasn't had a struggle in their life or anything, but they're so far removed from it, and they're stuck in that way of saying, hey, man, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the best for you guys. This is for the best for you. You shouldn't be able to tell nobody, because, to be honest, it's all fucking just like that cop said. It's tyranny. It's all those. They're saying that, and the only way that they can enforce it is by federal laws funding. They can't enforce it, or federal or state laws, by funding. They can't enforce it by the police, bro.
Because what's a police officer going to do? Walk into your store because you have it open and say, oh, yeah, you know, and people, you know, you have ones. And I think that is, I think you should be able, that's my thing, that's my hot take. I think anybody should be able to open back up as a business, their store, what have you, and be able to run as long as they're taking precautions, as long as they're taking guidelines.
Do what the fuck you want, because like I said, I do believe, though, this is one thing, and we'll close out on that, and then you can give your side of what you learned. But the one thing that I do understand, because this is my fear, I say this all the time, I do not want to take this and give it to somebody that either I care about or somebody unwilling. Like I pass a neighbor or something and she's an elder and I fucking give her his shit and she dies. Mm-hmm. That's one of my concerns. So obviously you got to follow some kind of guidelines to make sure that you just don't give it to other, just because it doesn't make you sick doesn't mean, you know what I mean? I kind of believe those numbers, they're so high that the elderly are being effective, mostly because they're caged into homes and all that. But mm-hmm. I imagine it's attacking people that are older when their body's breaking down, immune system. I don't want no part of that. So that's why I kind of learned to say that we need to watch who we're getting in here, and the importance of the really opened my eyes during this whole time was saying participate. I always said that your local government is more important than voting for your president and all that, because you know how I believe about that. But your local government, because they're always going to say that in tough times, your local government it's on their shoulders because they don't want to make the decision. They'll just open the checkbook for that decision.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly. Now for me, what I've learned during this time, that's tricky. Because I mean, I could say stuff about family, but I've been talking about that a lot. I've been talking a lot about, I've learned that you got to form closer relationships with the people around you, and like really just take a breath. But I've said that too many times. I think what I've learned from a practical life skill business kind of sense for me is that you have to be like water if you're going to be someone who's a business owner or whatever. You have to be able to flow and move, and because of shit like this. I mean, granted, it's unprecedented. It's never happened before, in not, I don't say, in human history, like something like this has happened, or at least United States history. But regardless, you have to be able to move and be formless, because life is kind of like, things like this can change, and you have to have that freedom to move around, and that means something. Like how we do our platform, where we can literally be anywhere on the planet as long as we have access to Skype and there's a computer that can run OBS. We can do the show, or being able to free up time in your schedule, or move around. You have to be formless, because I think the people that really suffer the most from this coronavirus shit are the people that were in rigidity. Like they had a fixed system that was working for them until the system broke down. And once the system broke down, they were screwed. And I think that's what I learned.
They didn't have no adaptation and wiggle room. You can't, especially if you're a brick and mortar. But if you're a brick and mortar, like I would say, like the conversation I had with my partner was saying, I was telling him this months ago, you need to start onlining stuff. Like maybe the back catalog, sell it at when you're going to give it back to the company, or you're going to sell it at discount price. Maybe you hire somebody, a young kid, to make that their job, that they put it online and they sell it. So you can, you know what I mean? You can make this when you want to get up, because if you want to get up and go somewhere else, you can still maintain something if you have it online.
Yeah,
so
right. You can sell something, and these people haven't adapted. And I've seen from the business side, because people have come to me from my business about it, because they realize now, after this whole shit went south, like, oh damn, I have to. It's a good thing, because it's kind of made everybody at the local level of business around this area, I think, right, go, oh damn, because we always joke around this place like stuck in the 80s. We have to move forward with the now world, because if we don't, we're gonna be in trouble, because we almost didn't make it through this
world order.
What's that?
Are you talking about the New World Order?
Of course. I'm all for the NWO. Let's get it started, man. Let's New World Order, man. Yeah, that's right, baby. I love it. We're all one world. We're all one world, one nation, man. That's it. That's all I care about,
No, you're right. Because remember when we went downtown and did a tour? Remember we were just popping up on people fucking with them? I was like, let's go downtown and we were looking for the pizza guy, about the mural. And then let's just go around and just fucking pop up on people and talk, right? Mm-hmm. You can tell that everybody was, except that secondhand store at the end, because their barcode system was impressive. How she had it, they had like 5 or 6 people in there with products, and she went and programmed the barcode, and then it's going to separate it at the end of the night. Yeah, that's pretty. I know it's pretty basic, but it was set up nice for them.
Innovatively for the surrounding area. Yeah, it was innovation.
Yes. So, and I think that's what it is. You have to be adaptable. You have to kind of plan for these type of things. If they shut down, you got to think about that. If you shut down tomorrow, there's still got to be a hustle for everybody to feed their families. And it just can't be you, because that's why I say it's to be a leader, bro. When you lead, there's a difference between being a leader and playing one, because the leader's going to take the shit end of the fucking stick every time, because you got to take care of the people that you brought in, like your employees or shit like that. You got to make sure that they eat, bro. So you got to be thinking in that manner. Like every day before I go to sleep, if something happens tomorrow, am I still going to be able to take care of this circle of people? And think logically, think doable. Don't, everybody makes things complicated and too over the top. Just make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, basically.
Keep it simple, stupid. I love it. All right, well, Coach, it's around that time. I don't think do you have anything else you want to touch on? I like
No.
that. I like that face. You're really like, no, it was like a Popeye skill kind of face. All right, then we're gonna wrap up the show. But we want to thank everybody that stopped out and came and talked to us today. And yes, Ivy, I was trying not to smile. I'm sorry. But as always, stay beautiful, take care of yourselves, and we'll be out of here. Have a good one. See you.